Hello everyone. Today in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you my top 5 career tips if you're a manifesting generator or in manifesting generator fashion, pivoting your career as well, because we're really good at those pivots. I am a fellow manifesting generator and I have been an entrepreneur for about 7 years now. So I have definitely learned a thing or two along my journey as far as navigating this energy type. Once you really understand this energy type, you can rule the world. You can create your own path. You can essentially do whatever the heck you want to do in this life and be successful at it. Whether you are just beginning your human design journey or if you've been on it for a while, let's just first begin by covering the energy type of a manifesting generator. So what is a manifesting generator? In human design, there are 5 core energy types, manifesting generator being one of them. Then we also have manifestors, generators, projectors, and reflectors. So as you can see, a manifesting generator is actually the only hybrid of the 5 energy types, and we are combined with the energy of manifestors and the energy of generators, creating our beautiful hybrid that only 34% of the world has, and that is manifesting generator. Manifestors are the initiators of the world and generators are the doers of the world. Combining the two, this makes manifesting generators incredibly magnetic. They initiate, they also follow through with what they say that they're going to do. They're very creative, enthusiastic, and typically they have a ton of passions. If you are a manifesting generator, you probably relate to one or almost all of these qualities. You may have a lot of interests or passions or hobbies and you feel like you can do everything. Typically, you can do everything, but some of your family members and friends might be like, girl, you have a lot on your plate. Are you sure that you can handle that? I make this joke to myself and I actually have a hobby closet and that's where I keep all of my hobby gear because I just go through hobbies like nobody's business. And relating this to your career, you might be someone that has a ton of business ideas locked into your notes app and you feel like you genuinely want to do it all or can do it all. And oftentimes when we're really excited about a project and really lit up, we typically will spend and exhaust all of our energy into doing that said project. We forget to eat, we forget to sleep, sometimes we even forget to use the bathroom. It's kind of all or nothing. And you also might find that you hardly run out of energy when you're doing something that you love. You also tend to move very quickly and also in your own way. So you were typically that kid in school that got the project done, but completely different than all of the kids around you and even different than how the teacher instructed you to finish the project. And when you delivered it, your teacher was like, "How did you get here?" And you're like, "Well, I did X, Y, and Z." And the teacher's kind of looking at you like, okay, well, if it works, it works. So this tends to lead us to cutting corners or skipping steps, which may result in us actually backtracking and having to do the work twice, but we still will probably make it to the finish line quicker than most people. You might find yourself attracting people or experiences very easily. An example I like to share is one day you could be at work and say to a colleague or friend, "Man, I have so much work on my hands. I just wish I could find a virtual assistant." Just to find a virtual assistant literally the next day in a coffee shop or be introduced to one. Like whatever you say out loud, it just attracts you because you are so magnetic. With those being the core qualities of a manifesting generator, now I kind of want to go through the core frustrations, which will definitely segue us into the tips that I have for this video. So you might find it really hard to commit to something long term. It's really hard for you to commit to a very strict schedule or something that doesn't allow you to move freely in your day-to-day life. You're someone that just kind of wants to wake up and decide how you want to live your life that day. You may find yourself really frustrated with the fact that you have to choose one career and stick with it for the rest of your life. Manifesting generators are just not built this way. We are literally meant to have more than one passion and more than one career. So when society tells us, hey, pick a career and stick to it, that really frustrates us. So try to remember that society isn't always right. You may also find yourself really frustrated with coworkers or peers if they are not moving fast enough or if they can't keep up with your pace. Because once again, you like to just full-fledged run to that finish line. And if people are trailing behind you, you are going to get really frustrated. Like, keep up with the program. I kind of already mentioned this, but you might also find yourself backtracking in a lot of your projects because we tend to skip over steps or cut corners. Try to remind yourself to slow down and do everything once and do it right so that you don't have to go back and redo everything. But we also learn from our mistakes, so it's a win-win situation. You may also find yourself overcommitting to things and saying yes to everything, but then when the time comes to actually follow through with that commitment, you're like, I don't know about that. I'm kind of over it. And this one is tricky, but we actually fall into burnout really, really easily. And this is because we are full of life force energy when we're doing something that we love to do. But sometimes when we're harnessing this energy, we forget to rest and we forget to intentionally take time away from our project. And this leads us to actually feeling super burnt out or hating what we're working on altogether because you didn't intentionally give yourself time to actually rest. Try to remember that even though you have a ton of energy, you still need to rest it out so that you can keep the longevity of the project. I've come across all these frustrations plus some. So now that we kind of have a better grasp at what manifesting generator energy qualities are and what the frustrations might be, I kind of want to dive into the tips that I have for this video now. My first tip is a really juicy one, and that is make sure that you fall in love with the process of a project and not just the end result. Let's dive a little further. As a manifesting generator, it is really easy for us to say yes to something in the moment and overcommit ourselves, just like I explained earlier. However, we get really, really excited about the end result of something, especially when it comes to a career or project. When we think about the end result of something, we're like, oh my gosh, this is going to help me meet so many people. This is going to bring so much money and abundance into my life. And this is how I'm going to feel when I'm in the moment after I've accomplished this project. But we kind of forget how much work or what kind of work it takes to actually make it to that end result. And remember, manifesting generators have this abundance of life force energy, but you have to be loving what you're doing. So if you don't love the work and what you actually have to do to get to that end result that you're looking for, you are going to be so burnt out and you're probably just going to ditch the project altogether. That is because we are going against what our soul wants us to do. As a manifesting generator, our soul genuinely wants us to love the actual work that we do. There are some people out in the world that can just get a project done and mind over matter it, but not for a manifesting generator. We have to love what we're doing every second of the day to create that life force energy. Manifesting generators love to look at the big picture of things, so it is really easy to look at the big picture and be like, yeah, whatever it takes, I'll get there, it's fine, we'll hustle, I'm just gonna do it. But then when you're in the day-to-day life of doing the project and the work that it takes you to get to that end result, you are going to be so pissed. I actually think this is why we cut corners, because we crave that end result so much and it just fires us up. So we're like, yeah, of course, I'm going to do it as quick as I can to get to where I want to be. But we have to remind ourselves that life is about the journey as well, and the tasks that you have to do to complete to wherever you want to get to is equally as important. My tip for you before you decide to jump headfirst into a project or new career move is ask yourself these questions. What is it going to look like on the journey to get to this result? And will I be engaged and fully present in the task at hand? Tip number 2 is learning the art of delegation. If you are a fellow entrepreneur, you have probably heard this countless times, but I'm going to reiterate it because as a manifesting generator, this is crucial for our energy levels on a day-to-day basis. And that is delegation, because truthfully, in any project or any career, there are going to be tasks that are mundane and you don't want to do every day. Make sure that you have people that can hop in when you do not want to do that task. I was a makeup artist for 7, almost 8 years, and I loved the business model. I loved meeting with clients, but I hated answering emails. So I hired a virtual assistant to take off that part of my plate so that I can focus on my client connection and the art itself, and someone can hop in and help me with the actual grunt work or the email work and digital marketing aspect of that specific career. And if you are in a career right now where you can't afford to ask for help or delegate out certain responsibilities, here are a few tips for you as well. You can go on Upwork, and there are a ton of people in other countries that are looking for work that charge like $4 to $5 an hour. And I know that sounds very inexpensive or cheap for America, but in those countries, that's actually a really good paycheck for them. So that is a great option. They are so grateful for that work. So I love using that avenue for delegation. You can also ask friends and family. Let's say you have an e-commerce business and all of a sudden it popped up and you need help packaging items. Just call some girlfriends over, go buy a bottle of wine and put your friends to work. I know if my friend called me and said, "Girl, can you help me with my business?" I would show up in a heartbeat because people genuinely want to support you. And one more tip too is you can also hire an intern, especially if you are looking to build out a social media. Social media marketing is skyrocketing right now, and I guarantee you there's someone out there that wants to build their portfolio. So ask the quantum field and you will receive the help you need. This leads me to tip number 3, and that is to stop obsessing over how other people are doing something and start looking at yourself for inspiration. Manifesting generators are supposed to create their own life path. We are the energies that forge new paths. We create methods that haven't been done before. We're able to combine all of these passions in a way that makes sense and is so true to you that no one has ever done before. So my tip to you is to stop obsessing how other people are doing things. For example, if you want to hop into real estate, sometimes we find ourselves looking up YouTube videos, how to become a real estate agent, how did I build my clientele, how did I maintain clients, how did I get referrals, yada, yada, yada. But in reality, you already know the answer to that. You just have to go out and do it. Because as manifesting generators, we are literally here to do things differently than anyone else around us. You have to just sometimes ditch all of the knowledge that's online or stop yourself from consuming content that other people are making about the career choice that you are making and just go out and do it. Because you will always know what is best for you. And my best advice is to follow what lights you up. Because as a manifesting generator, if we are following that life force energy, what fills our cup, what we're super passionate about, what gets us out of bed every morning, your path is going to unfold exactly how it's meant to. So stop obsessing over how other people are doing it, because chances are you're not going to do it exactly how that person did it. You're going to create a whole new path for yourself, and people are actually going to look at you and ask you, how did you do it, for their own inspiration. My 4th tip is a really hard one to grasp, but once you do, you are going to rule this damn world, and that is to allow yourself to pivot when you are ready to. As a manifesting generator, it is literally our role in this world to pivot and to find multiple passions in our lifetime. But society tells us that we have to find one career and one career only, and you have to stick it out. They even give us incentives to stay in a career, like bonuses every year, more PTO if you stay longer, even better retirement plans if you stay with a company for a long time. And even though society tells us, hey, stay to this career and you are just going to be content for the rest of your life. But as manifesting generators, that is pushing us so far away from our passions and so far away from that life force energy. This is something that I have really tried to grasp, and something that I'm kind of still working on, to be honest, because of society's pressures. And I just found myself always wanting to change up my career. And I actually asked myself, like, is something wrong with me? Why can't I stick to something? And developing my understanding about human design and myself as a manifesting generator, I found so much comfort in knowing, hey, you're actually here to live so many different lives. The world is literally your oyster as a manifesting generator. You just have to follow what lights you up. And like I mentioned earlier, we are here to create our own unique path, and all of those passions and all of those skill sets that you gather along your way is leading to something so grand you don't even know it yet. So if you have an inclination for whatever reason to just go for a very specific skill set, do it. If you want to learn a different language, do it. If you want to sign up for karate classes, do it. You never know where these skills are going to lead you. So when it comes to a career specifically, I think this is really hard to grasp at first, but the more that you remind yourself it is okay to pivot, the more you are going to succeed in life. Point blank, period. Because you are allowing yourself to live in your truth and to live the life that you are genuinely meant to live. And how you can tell that you're ready to pivot as a manifesting generator is when you find yourself really frustrated. So if you're feeling frustrated with something, chances are you're actually blocking that energy. And the longer it takes you to realize you need to pivot and try something new, the longer you're going to stay in this frustration. I think it's a lot easier said than done, but if you find yourself in a position where you are feeling frustrated, you're feeling bored, you're feeling depleted, you're feeling burnt out, chances are you need to start something new. And I promise you, the second that you start something new as a manifesting generator and allow yourself to actually follow whatever passion you have that's different than the passion that you had before, that life force energy is going to switch on again, and you are going to feel so magnetic, and you're going to be so happy that you did pivot. It's just really hard when society is telling you to stick with one thing and you are also thinking about what people are going to say and what people are going to think. Like, oh, she just left this career to go pursue something else. Like, yeah, I did. And I'm taking all of the knowledge that I learned in this part of my career and I'm taking it with me onto the next part. And who knows? That skill set and all of those things that you learned in your past career venture might carry you into other things later on in the future. You just don't even know it yet. Remember, your path is not linear. Your path is unique to you, and you know what lights you up, so you just have to follow that. But that first starts with allowing yourself to pivot when the time is ready. This leads me to my final tip, and that is to choose a career with a high skill set ceiling. So this actually goes hand in hand with number 4, because what I noticed in my past careers, I felt like I hit my ceiling of my skill set and I wasn't challenging myself anymore. And as a manifesting generator, in order for us to find that passion and that drive to keep going, I feel like we really have to have a solid challenge or an end result that we're looking to achieve. And sometimes if a career or a specific project has a really low skill set ceiling, you don't have enough room to grow. So for example, if you are in an office job position, number 1, if you're a manifesting generator, I would highly suggest you don't have an office job. And if you do right now, I hope this inspires you to create something where you are not walking into a 9-to-5, because that totally goes against the manifesting generator energy as a whole, but it's okay. It's a part of your journey. I've been in a 9-to-5 too. But let's say that you have a front desk representative job, for example. Arguably, that is a very low skill set ceiling. Typically, you need typing skills, interpersonal skills, the ability to stay on task, answering emails, etc., etc. You're going to master all of those skills and you are going to be so bored, and we don't want that to happen. But on the flip side of that, if you choose a career that has a very high skill set ceiling, so let's say you walk into a brand new career. I like using this real estate example that I used before. Let's say that you are a baby real estate agent and you walk in. You have hours and days and months and even years to learn all of the skill sets it takes to be a really good real estate agent. You can go into a brokerage, you can have your own brokerage, you can get licensed in other states and go make connections in other states. You can work with other real estate agents. You can create content for being a real estate agent. You can even go into photography for real estate agents because now people are hiring professional photographers and videographers to take photos and videos of the homes that they are selling. Your ceiling is so high. You have so much to learn and so much to develop within this field. My final tip for you is if you are pivoting your career, try to find something that has a very high skill set ceiling so it's harder for you to get bored. Now, I want you to still honor when you need to pivot because at some point you are going to have to pivot, but you have to find that high ceiling so that you won't get bored. Because as a manifesting generator, we also need to have a lot of options. We want to wake up and have the ability to choose what we want to do with our day. So if you have all of these skill sets and avenues that you can choose from in your career, it will be really hard for you to get to the point of feeling depleted or burnt out or drained of your life force energy. So that wraps up all 5 of our tips for manifesting generators in careers specifically. If you would like me to make a video on a different area of life, like relationships or friendships, please let me know. I had so much fun with you guys today, and I hope you have a wonderful week.